Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beer Right Back, the Lounge Beer Podcast. Today, we're going to be doing, well, a lot of numbers by
Dogfish Head.
And we're starting off with SuperEight, the beer that can apparently develop film,
That's right.
which is probably one of my favorite things.
That's what I look for in beer.
Yeah.
Is it good? How expensive is it? And can I develop my archaic film format?
What kind of film did they say this could develop?
SuperEight.
Oh,
Oh.
duh. All right.
Gentlemen,
All right, cheers. Just all around, really pleasant.
it's pretty sour, right?
Yeah.
It's like tart right up front.
You could even say it's super sour.
Soup has a pH of 8.
Yeah,
Oh, is that? No, it should go the other way. Aren't smaller numbers acidic?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
fuck it. I don't know.
I mean,
It's not
I
a
don't
chemistry
know. You
lesson.
could try to develop some film in alkaline solution. See how that turns out for you.
In baking soda.
Yeah, just coat it and then pan fry it like a little chicken.
This is like less fruity than I had expected. It's like pretty sour, but not really
They claim all these different things, all of these different fruits.
a bevy of heroic fruits, which
bevy.
I've only met like civilian fruits. I've never met any heroes, but and quinoa pours a deep, vibrant bread with ample addition of Hawaiian sea salt. Glad it's Hawaiian sea salt instead of other
Regular sea
Himalayan.
salt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that's,
God, it's-
that's landlocked. Never mind.
Well, this beer is pink, so maybe it was. They're just lying, and it was
okay.
Himalayan pink salt.
Yeah.
Right.
That shit.
Ale made with red sea salt, prickly pear, mango, boysenberry, blackberry, raspberry, elderberry, kiwi juice, and toasted quinoa. Maybe raspberry. I get like kind of lime more than anything, but
I kind of get that like raspberry seed or like grape seed
Slightly
flavor.
earthy.
Yeah, it's a nice like kind of laid back or like toned down flavor inside the like kind of just general fruity saltiness. But
I can see that. Maybe that's coming from the prickly pear,
oh,
because that's kind of what I think prickly pear
yeah.
tastes like. So maybe it's a whole gamut of kind of bullshit. I wish there was more to it than they claim all of these things, and I don't know. It's what.
yeah.
I don't think they're lying. I'm sure they put it in the beer, but did they put enough for you to actually taste it? If they took it out, would you notice?
Press X to doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a good like summertime sitting out in the heat sour. This is
Yeah.
in league with their sequential. I think it's not a very huge flavor. It's just a light, refreshing sour.
Yeah.
And it's hot in the bar today, so I really need something
Yeah.
to cool me down. I'm like sweating, and I'm just standing here.
Oh.
I just put up the German episode.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was like the last storm of the year, so you could hear snow and hail hitting the door, and I was like, Jesus, it's like hot as shit now. And it's like it was snowing when we did this episode.
But we haven't recorded for a while, so
Yeah,
yeah.
we've had a little
Hiatus.
had a little short couple week thing to burn through some of our backlog, and
I wish this beer had more head too. For such a light beer, that head just disappeared. Like
instantly.
that's unfortunate. But it's got a nice color.
Yeah.
It's like kind of bright candy pink, like kind of a cotton candy.
Kind of peachy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the smell, but
I better smell it, huh?
it
Yeah.
doesn't have much smell. But what's there is not the most pleasant.
Then again, there are a lot of beers that are fantastic and they smell like skunk.
Yeah.
So
All in all,
maybe I shouldn't say a lot.
yeah. At the end of the day, this is fine. This is not blowing any minds. So to give a little backstory on today's episode, I think really, for me at least, since we like started planning this podcast, I have had this episode in mind of doing all of the Dogfish Head. The big ones are 60, 90, and 120-minute IPAs.
And we have managed to piece together a more cohesive set of 7 beers.
Yeah, so
that are
it started out as just those 3.
Because
that's not a
you-
whole episode.
you have to do that.
Right. But then we thought, well, you know what? There's 75-minute too, which we've had on the podcast now once. And we'll have it again today.
This is going to be our second repeat today.
Yeah.
The podcast, just a Little trivia for you there.
Do you ever feel like the sportscasters going like
he's averaged 2.7 yards per carry over 259 carries, but if you take out fourth down positioning, he actually carried it for 3.7 yards per carry.
This
And
is
you're
his
like, wow.
500th running yard this season, carrying the football with a broken left ankle. So anyways,
I want to meet that running back. Broken left ankle and
500 running yards.
Wow, on a bum leg.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Aaron Rodgers there? Is that?
I hope Aaron Rodgers is not getting 500 running yards. With or without the broken ankle.
That's fair.
But anyways, so we were going to do those, and then we thought, well, there's 75-minute IPA too, and then they make a beer called 61, which is, well, we'll get to it. And then that was 5 beers, and so we were like, well, to round it out, let's get a SuperEight, because it has a number in it too. And then on a whim, they have a beer called Higher Math, which is their 20th anniversary beer, which is now 2 years old, or like a year old or something.
It's at least a year old.
Yeah.
I think, now.
So that'll be cool. And we thought it's got a big 20 on the label, so it's got a number technically. And Higher Math is kind of numbery, so fuck
They're
it.
all numbers.
We'll throw it in.
Yeah, this is the minutes. The minutes episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dogfish Head number beer episode. So our rating scale is a little different from most people's, so it warrants an explanation. Our rating scale is a 0 to 100 scale, with 0 killing you instantaneously and 100 your soul ascends out of your body, and it's the best beer you've ever had in your life, and it's perfect, and it can't ever happen. A 40 is the limit of like a beer that you would finish, a beer that you would continue drinking. Below a 40 is a beer that you do not want to drink, and you would, I don't know, pour your glass out or something.
And then a 60 is good, and an 80 is great.
That's right.
Everything over an 80 gets on the Wall of Fame.
Wall of Fame, which you can see on our Instagram page if you go to our highlighted story that says Wall of Fame. That being said, I will rate this a confident 60. This is good.
I was thinking 65.
I was thinking 55.
Yeah.
Okay.
60 it is.
Yeah, it's just kind of this is one of those creek beers, I guess, that you don't want to think about it too much. You just want to
One every half hour
Yeah.
sitting at the creek, and you just maintain a buzz all day.
Yeah,
That's the life.
you really could have a whole 6-pack of these and not even really feel it, huh? If you had some food.
What is the alcohol in that?
This is 5.3. So
yeah.
Okay.
taking the can away and not
Go rinse out that can for me.
Yeah, rinse it out. I'm going to recycle that later. So
And the easy beers are over.
It's all uphill from here.
Yeah, straight into the IPAs.
Oh.
Jeremy, how many of these have you had?
I'm trying to think. There was that day we came over and rather fittingly, we were trying to mow the weeds in the back
Yeah.
of the bar. And so we were all just sitting around telling Adam how to fix a lawnmower.
None of us knowing how to fix a lawnmower.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong.
And then we're just throwing back SuperEights and that other
Sequential.
sequential. Yeah. So maybe I think I've had 4 or 5.
Yeah, so you've had SuperEight. You've had probably had a 60, I imagine.
Yeah.
75 you said you had on tap, and probably had a 90, and probably tried 120, if not a whole bottle.
Yeah, I think we shared it or something.
Yeah.
but- so these are all pretty familiar to me, but I look forward to looking at them, I guess, with a more objective. Yeah. Not just at 4th of July, hey, try this, and you already already blitzed. Okay.
Man, this is great if you've had 6 beers before it. I'm proud to. I've had every single one of these beers, though it has been a long time since I've had 61. That was one of my first beers I think I ever had when I was getting into craft beer, and I don't think I was at a point yet to really appreciate it. So it'll be good to revisit it now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the 60-minute IPA here, second beer on the list.
It smells kind of skunky.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It might be vintage. Anyway, cheers.
So you said we were over with the light beers, but this is only 6%. So we've
Okay.
got a little bit more of a buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Before you got to start rubbing your forehead, just hoping for death.
Right. This is bottled in March of this year, so it's a little old, but
It's fine though.
tastes okay. It's 60-minute. I've never loved 60-minute, but for me, it's like everywhere I've ever seen 60-minute, 90-minute has been right next to it.
And 90-minute. Well, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil it, but
I'll spoil it. It's one of my favorite beers. So I never get 60-minute, but
60-minute is like their IPA, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's the IPA
Yeah.
that they make.
So far, this one's pretty crisp. I don't want to say non-offensive because we usually mean that in like a offensive way somehow.
Yeah.
But it's pretty approachable. I'm kind of getting like from the head, like the foam, like a bit of a barley, like kind of darker beer.
malty.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And so that kind of goes nice with the rest of it, which is just sort of pretty
IPA.
IPA. Yeah.
Do you mind if I have a sip out of your glass? Because I'm getting like a weird like coffee flavor, and I'm sure it's not from the beer, but I don't think it would be from the glass.
No. You get coffee?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think I'm.
No, I think it's just the beer, but it's like, I don't know. It's like I don't get it consistently. It's just once in a while I like breathe a certain way, and suddenly I get like a little, like it smells like somebody's making coffee next door or something.
I did notice that on my first sip, but it's kind of gone away
Yeah.
over time.
Well, I'm sorry, you guys are wrong. So I don't know what to say about that.
Is it hard being the only genius on the podcast, just with us knuckle draggers?
I cry at night sometimes. It's that the geniuses have a hard life.
Yeah, I weep for humanity occasionally.
Yeah. I am very smart, so of course I watch Rick and Morty and all the classics, but
Watching Rick and Morty might have made you smart. So you have to be.
See, but I was doing calculus in the womb, Sean, so
We gotta save this discussion for upper math.
Yeah, higher math.
Higher math. Oh, it's already that time of day. Upper math.
the upper echelon of math.
This is like kind of between like the piney and the citrusy hops to me. There are no really big hop flavors to me. It's just kind of hoppy, bitter. There's just not much to this beer, is it?
Yeah, it's kind of lagery, I guess. Some bitter in there, but
I will say I agree with you, but I don't think there are any serious mistakes in it either.
Sure.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
take that for what you will.
I just wish it had like flavor.
You wish it was 90 minutes.
Yeah,
Yes, I
really.
understand. I get that. I want a 90-minute as well. But Sean, this is the podcast where we have to go through all of the beers sequentially. Don't you remember the
Does
plan?
it mean I have to like them?
But it's Dogfish Head. You have to suckle at their teeth. Like they are the Lord Creator
Papa
themselves.
craft beer.
Yeah. Well, that's New Belgium and Sam Adams.
Well,
Again,
It's like-
you are wrong, and I am
Well,
the genius.
Grandfather.
Sam Adams is grandpa, who's like kind of racist, and you're like, oh, grandpa, like, give him some leeway because he's from a different time. But now they're like together, so maybe it is mom and dad. But then Sierra Nevada
Is like
Sam Adams is older than
Sam
Sierra
Adams is
Nevada.
like Sierra Nevada is like the fun uncle that only comes around every once in a while.
Hey, you want an IPA?
I put 2 pounds of hops in this one.
So he said it's too bitter, and I said thanks.
That was a good story, dude. I'm like sweating.
It's
I'm like
hot as shit.
It's
Yeah.
extremely hot in this room.
You're wearing like 2 layers technically.
I
I'm kinda
know. I think
Surprised.
I might take
Shed
off the
the-
Hawaiian. I'm sorry.
I'm only
Yeah,
wearing the
boys.
one, and
Ah.
I'm showing some chest too, and it's still. Yeesh.
Yeesh.
We've got the we've got the 3 stages of hair length too.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm like sweating up a storm. I don't know if you are, Jeremy.
Not really,
I thought
yeah.
it was the blanket on my head. It might just because.
I don't know. I think I'm like naturally adapted to the heat
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. It's weird. I grew up in like Kingman for like until I was 5, and
That'll learn you.
that place is hot as fuck. So
Yeah, a little hotter than here.
yeah,
I agree. I want to be done with this. Now.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm like searching for something to say about the beer, and it is. This is like kind of between Pale Ale and Torpedo in bitterness. Not as much as Torpedo.
I mean, neither of those are super hoppy. I guess Torpedo is like...
Torpedo's getting up there.
Yeah.
To me, this is like a step down from that. But even at that, Torpedo can't be more than... This is 60 IBU, and Torpedo can't be much more
Right.
than 60.
Fuck if I know. All right, I'll start us off.
Get these glasses out of here.
Well, I got to rate it
Oh,
first.
shit. Oh, that's right.
Come on, Sean.
No, I want my 90-minute...
What do we only have? We have 2 more to go before
I know.
you even get your 90.
I know, but
Pace yourself.
But those
brother.
ones are good. I
know.
what?
I'm going to give this the exact same thing that I rated SuperEight. It's a 55.
55.
I'm thinking more like a 63, 62.
Nice.
I wrote you down a 63. That's your official rating.
All right, cool.
I have decided.
It's pen. I can't change. Every decision I make on the little book here is final.
It is the word of the Lord.
So it is written. The genius,
Yeah.
the Lord.
The omniscient. Coming up is 61, which was the white whale for a while. When we were planning this episode, I thought
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna have to cancel it because I couldn't find 61 anywhere because they released it with their holiday seasonal pack over the winter. It was like in a 12-pack, but that was over the winter.
Yeah.
And so I was looking around for it everywhere, and I couldn't find it. And finally found a bottle, and I was like, "Oh my god, we can do this now!" Because all the other beers are all over the place all the time, so this will be easy. And then, and then we started looking around for all the
Yeah.
other beers, and then it was like, "Holy shit, 75 Minute is gone." We had 75 Minute was everywhere all the time for like 3 months.
Until we needed it.
Yeah, and then as soon as we're like, "Oh shit, we could do the episode," then we couldn't find it anywhere. And I went to Phoenix and Prescott, and I looked all over the place and couldn't find it. And then
Was 61? We were in like Majestic, and we were just like having a laugh.
This is after we found it.
yeah, we found it, and we're like, "Okay, we could do the episode." We had everything squared away, and we're like, "Finally, we found 61." Okay, woo! We found the last bottle
Yeah.
in the universe. We go to Majestic, and they have one of the 12 packs of like the holiday with 4
There it is.
Yeah.
or with 3 61s in it anyways. So 61 is a blend, I believe, of 60-minute IPA and wine.
Whoa.
So this should be an interesting flavor extravaganza.
Yeah. We can finally say we've had wine
Yeah.
on the podcast. Pinky,
Don't
pinky red.
don't tell people that.
I have a reputation. It's tasty. It's like pinkish red.
Kind of a
It's like a slight
ochre.
yeah.
Perhaps
An ochre? Is that
brick?
Is that a perhaps a brick?
What was your question?
Is ochre like brown?
Yeah.
Okay. That was my question. Moving on.
Gentlemen,
Cheers. That first sip really makes you like kind of furrow your brow a little bit and kind of have to think on it for a second.
there's a lot of flavors all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So it takes a second to like, what the fuck was that?
But the good thing is that none of them are like too powerful. They're all kind of subtle. So even though you have to do a little bit of work to find them, it's not overpowering because you're getting assaulted by chocolate, coconut, pineapple, hop. Like,
I feel like they all persist for a long time too. It's not like some beers where it's like for the first second it tastes like pineapple and then it goes to all this other stuff. This is like there's a lot of flavors and you can kind of take a second and go, well, okay, I could see the wine and well, there's a little bit of hoppiness and there's a lot to that. That's like a genius's beer. That's like a thinking man's.
But like,
you're right, Sean. It is.
Give me that back so I can.
you've seen those memes where it's like the dude's brain like extends out of his back, like the back of his head, and becomes a throne on which he sits.
I saw one where it becomes like an elephant that he's riding, and he's like in the big like.
Oh, like the canopy thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is good. It took me a second, like you said. You kind of gotta like
Yeah.
process it for a while, but
It's got to ferment.
yeah,
I think it has just enough wine flavor.
Yeah.
I really don't like in wine like the tannins, this kind of like super acidic thing in like the bottom of your palate. And this has none of it. It just has kind of the more bright, fruity grape flavors that you would get in a red. So, and then it's got a little bit of hop and a little bit of a malt. So
that grape really makes me anticipate a sourness that is going to be there, and then it doesn't happen. That like for a moment this tastes like a sour, and then it's not.
Yeah, it does kind of play with the expectation there.
Yeah.
To me though, I don't know if it's like a good or bad thing, because it kind of leaves like a void in your mouth, like kind of like a wanting, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
the wanting.
I think this would be good with a little tart sourness at the end. But then I think that would detract from all the other stuff. And
true.
I think,
Yeah.
I don't know. They had to.
They had to stop somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and the inspiration for this beer was like their founder used to order this. He used to order like a 60-minute with a splash of his favorite wine in it. And then he liked it so much he decided like, fuck it, let's make this and bottle it. So, if they were building this from the ground up to be a completely original beer, maybe they would have added a little tart to the end of it. But given the inspiration for it, I could see how they would just leave it at this.
It's got a good smell. Cue the entire room taking large inhales as if off like a paint can.
I'm having a hard time smelling it. I don't get a lot
Yeah.
out of it.
I don't know.
Again, it's subtle. Obviously, you would only get it if you were big brain like me.
It's too nuanced for us.
Right,
plebeians
yeah,
to-
really.
I see how someone like you wouldn't smell it. I like this a lot. It's interesting, right? It's like what we've said before. It's something I've never had before. It seems like every time you have a wine beer, the wine is very heavy-handed, and it's like, this is the extent that I want to have of it.
This really is just like a splash.
Does this taste much less bitter to you guys than the 60? I feel like this has been a significant step down in IBU.
Yeah, I would say so.
And it's 60
but, like,
IBU. It's the same.
The other one wasn't all that bitter to begin with, but so maybe it's hard for me to tell. But I think I agree with that sentiment.
I think that's probably because the fruitiness of the wine masks the IBU.
I'm sure you're right.
Of course.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't think they're lying, but
No, I know.
It
Yeah.
tastes significantly less
Yeah.
bitter.
I keep reaching for the bottle like there's beer in there. I need to move this over to my
Yeah.
right hand.
One time I drank out of the wrong cup at the movie theater because the guy next to me had his cup in what was my right hand cup holder. So I just had to switch. I had to call an audible to the left hand, but I never do the left hand. I always do the right hand, right? I mean, that's like when you set tables, glasses are on the right. So
Well, that's from a right-handed
elitist. This
yeah.
is like a left hand antagonistic. Anyways.
It's the right handiarchy.
Yeah. Fuck you. So anyway, I drank this guy's Dr. Pepper, and I had like a Sprite, so it was a really weird, I don't remember getting Dr. Pepper. And then I put it back down, and I was like, oh, is that his? And right as I thought that, he turned to the girl he was with, and then he moved his cup over. But for a second, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get away with it. Maybe you won't notice.
No.
So that was the most embarrassing I've ever felt with no outside.
Would you drink, if you were him, would you continue to drink the Dr. Pepper? Or would you just call it a loss?
I'm not fearful of other people's drinks like some people are. To me,
But
it's
it's
not
like a
non-issue.
random person at the movie theater.
But you'll eat shit off the floor, Nick.
I feel like I trust the floor more than a person's mouth.
I don't. Because you have no fucking idea what somebody has stepped in.
Well, at least the floor doesn't have herpes or something.
Sure,
like that.
but it has fungus.
But I like fungus.
Some. This tastes like athlete's foot. Somebody want to rate this before me, so I can.
I've got a rating.
I got one.
Jeremy?
I think probably 73.
65.
75.
Hey.
I was really hoping one of us would rate it as 61.
God damn it. So the only other opportunity to do that, 120
Unless we
is off the
fucking
scale.
love 90 minute, which no.
Well, we might
Well,
rate
there's a 75.
There's
Yeah,
75.
75 is on the board.
Yeah.
I don't know what we gave it last time.
Oof.
I
Nobody rated 60 minutes 60. I'm really sad now.
I mean,
we like encircled 60, didn't we?
Yeah, there's a 55, a 63, and another 55.
wait,
is-
what's the average?
Like a 58 or something.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
damn.
that's less than a 60.
You can round up.
61 or 60-ish. Good beer. It's probably going to be a while before we have a chance to have it again, so good to have it on the podcast.
It's a winter one, right? Or
It's like seasonal, and this time they happen to do it over the holiday season.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when they normally do it,
huh.
but it is a seasonal thing, and I did not see it on the 2019 seasonal release calendar. So I don't know if they're doing it in 2019. Some of these breweries are weird about that. They do their seasonal stuff like seemingly at random. We haven't made this in 6 years. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then it's a yearly release for like 3 years, and then they stop. And
I wonder what like the main motivator for that behavior is. If it's like, oh, we have some like spare ingredients or
Yeah.
something laying around. So
the cynical part of me thinks it's like artificial scarcity.
oh,
Like
the McRib.
yeah, they
Except this is a little bit better than
I mean, but
McRib.
like the thought is the
no,
same.
I know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's, if we don't release it for 3 years and then come out with it, then everybody goes crazy for it. And the people who didn't get it that time because they sold out quickly get it the next year.
Yeah,
And people are like, oh man,
it's pretty good marketing.
yeah.
No.
Do it for a couple years until it becomes annoying. It's everywhere all the time and you can get it easily. And then they stop for a while.
Yeah, next up, we've got 75 minute.
I remember
One.
liking 75.
8 60 61 the
Sesame Street,
the
right?
count,
Yeah.
the guy who counts.
I know
Oh
who
my god,
Count
did you
is.
grow up in a third world country?
It was public access television, Sean.
I just said I knew who the Count was. Gentlemen, 75.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's
A totally different, it's like all of these beers have been like leading up to one another, and then this one is like, fuck that, like
Yeah.
I'm a new neo-Marxist liberal person, and I'm going to defy my parents.
I feel like we have a certain order that we're following just for like the meme, so we're like counting up through the
Sure.
digits. But I feel like if you were really gonna do this at home, the order would be SuperEight, then 61, then 60, then 75. Because it goes from like fruity to hoppy in a more
Yeah.
gradient.
I don't know. I think the way we did it though is sort of like in order of intensity, I suppose. Of
But
just
see,
like
I thought 61 was like more mellow.
Oh.
Here again, it's just my bias. I just felt
don't
like
know.
61
But I mean,
was-
like 61 was just so like interest gaining.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Anyway,
I see what you mean. Yeah, it was intensity. Maybe I have a different definition, but I see exactly what you mean. Is like a more interest, at least.
Yeah.
It's kind of we're going up through the weirdness. I don't know.
this one definitely less weird, but just like pretty bold and just solid all around.
To me, this is like what 60-minute could have been, where it's not a ridiculous IPA. Like, I don't know if 90's ridiculous, but 90's a big IPA.
Yeah.
60 to me is just so bland. This is like between, just a little, like, I get the booziness, like the boozy flavor, not the heat, but I like taste the alcohol.
Yeah.
And I think it goes well with the like slightly, it's not malt, but like that syrup. It's like maple syrup or some shit, molasses or something that's in this. And it gives it like a little darker flavor
Yeah.
that I
see what
like.
you mean. I don't know why, but like, I kind of like, I guess like stereotype IPAs as being like more yellow than this in color, and it's sort of like the as like a metaphor for its flavor. Like it's got more of that like barley-esque, or I don't know. Maybe I'm being stupid, but
it is a little deeper than I expect
yeah.
an IPA like this to be. Bigger IPAs are typically darker just because you need more malt to like counteract, kind of balances the hops. This is deeper, darker brown than it's deep yellow.
You
yellow.
guys get the maple syrup out of this, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't taste maple syrup, but I taste, to me, like what was once maple syrup and now has been digested by the yeast.
It's not a imperial stout with literal maple syrup in it, but it's got like that kind of sugary, deep, rich flavor by comparison to the IPA, and I think that makes a good pairing.
Yeah.
I was kind of let's just say sauced when I had it on tap, and so I didn't get as much of the maple out of that when I had it then.
Yeah. Well, we I think it was you and I who were tasting it. It was you and I who were tasting it on the podcast. It was a mystery beer.
Oh yeah.
But we like made a couple of comments about how it was like it's an IPA, but there's like something there, and one of us said something about it having like a savory. I don't know. Somebody said something weird about it.
Yeah.
I like this beer. This wouldn't be a go-to for me.
Certainly not.
But once in a while, and you only ever have it once in a while, this is good. If you're like at the bottle shop making a mix your own 6-pack and you happen to be there at the time that they have this released, then it would be good to grab one.
Yeah.
I rate it. I would love to rate it a 75. I don't think I can in good faith. I'm going to give it a 70.
I'm willing to give this one a 75.
Hey! Not just for the meme.
Yeah, because going back to the last one, which I think I gave a 73. Yeah, I don't know, just all around like a better impression. But I wouldn't go as far as 80.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah, I'll go like 71.
Okay. One better than a 70.
Yeah.
Just something about it.
Yeah.
This last sip, like, kind of just blew my mind because I got this really, like, for whatever reason, I didn't get the hop so much. And there was a pretty big, like, I actually got, like, the kind of maple flavor specifically, not just this, like, vague sweetness.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah. It's like every couple sips you get.
Once every 75 minutes, you know. All right, let me look up. We rated this beer a perfect 70.
We're consistent.
Yeah, we're consistent. And then the rating here says the inclusion of I'm reading this because we rated this so long ago that I don't remember. The inclusion of maple syrup into the brewing process makes this IPA have an interesting and defining buttery mouthfeel and flavor, setting it apart from most other brews in the style. Not something you want to get every day, Sean. Wow. But certainly worthwhile if you're looking for something new and challenging. I think I agree pretty much exactly with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
previous us nailed it. Buttery was the thing that I was thinking. Like there was a particular word that we used, and it was buttery. And I still kind of get that. There's a smoothness to this that's buttery, I guess.
I almost agree with you. You said savory earlier. I kind of agree with that a little more than buttery.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Like that.
It is a peculiar flavor to try to put a word on.
Yeah.
And so you're left like making your best approximation, and this tastes nothing like a steak, but for some reason there's like a savory element to it, like an iota of it that anyways.
Well, because it's an IPA, anything that's remotely savory or buttery or what have you sticks out, I think, pretty easily.
This isn't pine. This isn't a grapefruit.
What is this?
Good beer.
Oh, boys, I'm sweating.
I'm actually doing okay now. I've dried up.
Oh man.
I think getting into these better beers has like calmed me down. It's slowed my heart rate.
You guys are sitting.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
You're walking all the way to the sink to rinse these out.
Yeah. Well, see, the low life tend to like to have a sedentary life. But as a big brain, I like to move around.
Well, it's all the blood that your heart has to pump into your big brain.
See, Nick, these first 5 are me and Jeremy's IQs, and then the last 2 are yours. Higher math is his IQ, I guess. Apparently,
It's just
that joke didn't pan out how I had hoped, but
yeah.
it's
I pity laughed. I don't know.
yeah, that's fine. I accept pity laughs sometimes. What upsets me is when I make like what I think is a really good joke, and it's like dead silence, and then one pity laugh. I'm like, don't patronize me. Like,
Yeah.
that was worth a real laugh. But if it's like a shitty joke, I accept pity laughs.
For me, it's like when
take the charity.
no one is listening. It's like, well, I don't want to like repeat myself because then the joke has already lost like. I don't want to say it again, and then people being like, "You said it the first time. It just wasn't funny." I'm like, oh, "Okay, like
I'll go kill myself." It's time.
It here.
oh,
It's your boy. 90-minute IPA.
That sounds like a 90-minute. I could tell.
How it took 90 minutes for me to go through that little stupid sketch and then get the beer.
Come on, Nick. We could be drinking this by now.
I had a few too many of these recently, and I had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Doing it.
Now, is that going to adversely or the opposite of adversely affect your rating?
I've never had too much of a beer and then not been able to drink the beer afterwards.
yeah.
The only thing that's happened with is whiskey specifically.
Yeah.
whiskey isn't a beer.
Wait a second.
Get the fuck out of my bar.
It smells just like I remember. It's been a long time since I've had a 90.
Oh, were the 90s gone for Drink Talk Learn by the time you got there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I would have.
Thanks
had
to me. Cheers.
them. Cheers to that, Nick.
That's a damn good beer. I really enjoyed 75 Minute, and I thought 61 was interesting. And SuperEight and 60 Minute were their style. They're okay. But this is a great beer.
That is, I think, one of the best Imperial IPAs. It is a very definite step up from a regular single IPA, but it does it so well. There's like a little booziness and a little like bigger hop flavor and bitterness, but it does well with the weird like kind of fruity flavors in the background.
Yeah, it's so well balanced,
Yeah.
and it like the result is that there's like nearly nothing wrong that I can find about this, and every sip goes down like really smooth, and yet still retains the classic IPA bitterness, and it just leaves you wanting more.
Every time I've had this beer, I have tasted. Now, here's where you lose me, but like something wood, like a woody flavor, almost.
To me, it's not wood, but I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
The element in this,
Yeah.
There's something weird. Like there's
Yeah.
something that I haven't had really in too many other beers.
It's almost like they left a little bit of wheat chaff inside the beer just to give it that like woody, earthy.
For me, it's always like a weird fruitiness.
Oh.
It's like a like fruit peel. I don't want to go back to like the grape thing from previous episodes, but to me, I get like tastes like a weird plum grape kind of thing going on in the background behind the hoppiness.
There is like a surprising amount of sweet in this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not getting like the grape thing that you've been
That's
like
fine.
chasing this whole time.
One day.
Although when I mention like, oh, this has like grape seed in it, everyone like universally is like, yeah, I get that. But
Jeremy! Yeah!
but then when you do it, everyone is like, what are you talking about?
No grape in this dumbass.
Get out of here, dude. You're insane. Oh, look, Sean's drunk again.
What else is in it, Sean? Oh, Oracle, you? So anyways, it's a good beer.
Yeah.
Every time I am at the store and there's a 90-minute there, I'm like, I don't want to. I've had 90 minutes so many times. It's an IPA.
Then you have it, and it's great.
Every time I have it, I'm like, why the fuck aren't I buying this more? Like, I should put this in like every 6-pack I make. And then when I'm at the store, like, I have this like short-term memory of like, it's just an IPA.
But maybe that's part of the allure, is that you don't have it all the time. If you had this beer in every 6-pack that you have, maybe you'd get sick of it. It's like In-N-Out Burger, sort of, where the kind of the complexity and the eclecticness of the flavor is fun and really good for the first 6, and then it loses it, and you got to give it some time before coming back.
I feel that like, what's the word, parable? It's like falls on deaf ears for people who like live in California.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean? It's just
There's an In-N-Out Burger on every corner.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
As somebody from California, there was like a long part of my life where if you didn't have In-N-Out weekly, it was like, why do you even live here? Fucking moved to Nevada. Oh, they have In-N-Outs in Nevada. Yeah. Fuck it. Moved to somewhere else.
Oregon. I don't know.
As a person living in Flagstaff, you have to drive to at least Kingman, which is a 2-hour drive away just to get it.
Yeah.
And then you stop every time.
I live in Flagstaff now.
You understand it. Yeah, right? You're like, man, we're going to Phoenix. Yeah. Let's get in and out.
Well, it's like when Crystal and I go to Prescott, it's like...
They have an In-N-Out.
Yeah, which is only an hour and a half away. So a little close to
my world has changed.
Yeah, welcome. And there's Park Plaza. So
well, I know that.
Yeah, but what I mean is...
both.
Yeah, now you're not going to Kingman just for In-N-Out, which I don't think you were doing to begin with. But now...
I'm sorry to your hometown there. I'm not going
I mean, like, I have no attachments to that place. It was like we had to live there because we didn't have another home.
we had to live there is the whole story in one sentence.
When I was living with Adam, like the first month that we were there, we were like, we almost like drove to go to In-N-Out Burger because we were like, well, we're like best friends and we have nothing to do because we're both like students. So like, do you want to just road trip this? And then we like looked it up and it's like, let's just go to like the burger joint here.
I like In-N-Out. I also like 3 hours of gas in my car.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were gonna go to like Williams or something for like some other specific burger joint.
Oh, if we're in Williams, we might as well.
Anyway, it was. We didn't have the best ideas back then. Even now, I have bad ideas.
Those are like, I don't want to romanticize about it, and I don't want to pretend like I'm some old person looking back on my youth. But like, those are the best years. Like
college,
like now, of just like, we were like dumbasses, and so one time we just drove to Kingman to get in and out. It's like that's shit that you like remember fondly in like 20 years. You're like, that was the life. Now I have fucking kids.
Yeah. That we can't afford to be stupid anymore.
Yeah, I have a mortgage. I can't just disappear.
I remember going to Sonic after climbing one time with Brian, and he was convinced that buying a bunch of junior bacon cheeseburgers would save us money. And so we ordered like a bunch of them because they're really tiny.
Yeah.
And then we like got them all, like 6 of them. And then we looked at the menu and we were like, it would have been cheaper just to get one for each of us off the adult menu than all of these dumbass like little things.
Yeah.
And then they were terrible anyway. So that was fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
We used to, when I worked at the hardware store, we used to go to Sonic, and we would go in my truck, and this is before I had a camper shell, and I would back my truck into one of the stalls, and we would all just like sit in the bed of my truck, and the person would like come bring our food. We like ordered from the bed.
Nice.
The person would come bring our food, and they always like came up looking at like the receipt or the food or something. And then they looked up and saw us and like kind of stopped walking for a second or rollerblading and looked, and they were like, what the fuck? And then they like came up and they're like, whose is this?
Oliver!
Yeah. Just toss it here in the middle. We'll just fight over it like a cockfight.
It'll be like a mosh pit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't want to like extend the like tangents. I once like went to Sonic and a friend tried to order verbatim, I want an iced tea without the ice in it. And the guy on the radio was like, get the hell out of my like he thought it was being like punked or something.
Yeah.
But it was just like grade A Sonic experience right there.
I almost want to put this on the wall. But then I don't. I cannot. This entire time we've been talking about fucking Sonic. The fast food chain, not the anime character.
Gotta go fast.
I've been going
The
between
anime character.
Well,
a
now
video game,
now
idiot.
now he is an anime character. Have you seen his furry legs?
How is that anime?
I don't know. I don't watch anime.
It was more
Get out of
anime
my head.
before. Anyways,
Who's the galaxy brain now, Nick?
I don't have time for anime. I don't know what anime is. Go fuck yourself.
Too busy doing calculus and putting astronauts on the moon, Nick.
this is not
Yeah.
a part of.
I seriously cannot decide between a 75 and an 80.
I know
can't.
exactly what you mean. I don't know if it belongs on the wall because this is a really good IPA, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, I don't. But I give it an 80. It's like, for me, it is great.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh God! Now it's down to me.
Yeah, you
wouldn't-
have to decide.
I
You hold Dogfish Head in your hand, and you have to choose to like crush them into ash, or to.
Well, we got like another one on the way. That's potentially.
We
better,
do have
so.
120 minute, but this beer specifically,
Yeah,
I hold in the palm of my hand like Thanos.
balanced. Or wait, no, the other quote.
What did it cost?
Yeah,
Everything. Let me get one more sip before I crush them.
make it a good one. I'm 100% okay with this being on the wall.
Yeah, me too.
getting an 80, the lowest possible
Yeah.
score.
Like I wouldn't go a point above 80.
Yeah.
How many realities does Nick put this on the wall? One.
I feel so powerful. Yet so vulnerable at the same time.
Is this it?
I don't feel so good, mister.
Can I get a drum roll? 80.
On the wall.
Please tell your follow. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
It goes
Good job, Dogfish Head.
on the wall. It is the lowest possible
Yeah.
score, though.
Yeah.
It is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Wall of Fame status.
Yeah.
It's the bar. There's the.
Yeah. If something is as good as 90 Minute, then it's great.
Yeah. That's a.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Thought we were already there.
Oh,
Now we are.
And I get the most maple syrup out of the bottom of the glass, as per usual.
Oh.
You know, I'm actually not a fan of like maple syrup on like. Like shoot me after I say this, but like I don't put maple syrup on pancakes. I'm just
You eat them dry?
butter,
Butter?
pancake,
Oh.
powdered sugar, maybe.
For me, pancakes are a delivery method for the maple syrup. It's,
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
so I don't love sweet breakfast foods, but if I'm gonna have them, they better fucking be sweet.
Yeah,
Like
true.
it's gonna be like cake.
For me, pancakes have always been
Nick
like
Nick just preed.
oh, he smelled the lunch 20 minute.
I'm already posting. Actually.
Here's a legendary is a strong word, but here's like
infamous.
yeah, well, that implies like negativity,
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
true.
So like here,
Not always.
well, infamous as opposed to famous. Infamous is
negative version.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
The tried and the true.
Yeah.
Dogfish Head's 120 Minute.
Do you guys remember when this beer was like scarce it was like you had to
Hen's
go.
teeth.
Know someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like didn't get it the first year that I knew about it and tried to get it, because it's like you had to be there within like a few days of a liquor store getting it to get it, and I was never there.
And now it's like kind of infrequently around.
It's like typically at Majestic, and it's like
I don't know if
it's
typically.
almost always at Park Plaza,
Sure.
who have weird beers, but
Yeah.
oh Jesus Christ! I forgot about this. Okay,
Cheers,
fuck it.
gentlemen.
Cheers. Whew. It's only 18%. What is it gonna do to me?
There it is.
Oh my god.
This is like the booziest beer I enjoy. One of the booziest beers I think I've ever had. It does not do much to disguise the 18%. Where
No.
like some of the Evil Twin beers were huge. They were
And we were like,
17%.
This is 18%.
Yeah, where it really genuinely feels like it's 10. This
Is all of
15 is high, or I'm sorry, 18 is high. It's, I mean, you taste a lot of it, right? I feel like my sobriety just halved by
By the
one sip.
at the least, at the end of this third of a glass.
We're going to be in trouble. And then we have another. I mean, we just have higher math. We have mystery
And then-
beers. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god. Back to this specifically. This is like the closest like a beer gets to being just whiskey without being a
There is-
spirit. Like,
At-
or
you swallow it, and like 30 seconds later, there is still an alcohol heat. Like every breath, you feel it in your throat.
Breath
Yeah.
you take.
I'll be watching.
and that's like it is almost as if obviously that is like part of the flavor profile.
Yeah.
Pinky raised. But that is this beer. It is almost like I'm drinking a mixed drink. That is sort of how
Yeah.
That is a
boozy-
beer
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah. That's sort of like the alcohol per flavored that you get out of this.
This is kind of if you made a cocktail out of 90 Minute and put like some gin or something in it.
Yeah.
This is kind of it. It's so boozy.
I think I've said this before outside of the podcast when we've had this. You're right. This is exactly the maximum tolerable level of booze in a beer.
Yeah.
Booze flavor.
Right.
Like, I would not want to drink a beer higher than this.
Yeah.
Because then you're just drinking a mixed drink. That is more liquor than it is.
And here's what we said before about like German beer is fresh in my mind because I just finished editing it. We talked in that about how like American beer has its place because it's like expanding, it's like testing the limits of what beer can do. And in that, for that reason, I think higher alcohol beers than this have their place, and I would be interested in trying them. But I don't think I would ever enjoy anything more than
That's
this
what I mean.
higher than that.
Yes. Yeah. I think this is the peak of the bell curve
Yeah.
in terms of the additive effect that booze flavoring has on a beer. It doesn't get higher than this in terms of rating.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
For like academic purposes, what was that the dark sky that we like rated super high?
Oh, High Country Brunch.
yeah. What's
like
that percent?
12.
Let me just pull it down off of the wall of fame.
That you can view on Instagram on our highlighted stories. Wall of Fame.
High Country Brunch was a measly 13.1%.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
See, to me, it was boozy, but it was not. I did not drink that and go, "Wow, that's boozy." It was like it
Maybe
blended
a
in
little
so
bit,
well
but-
with the other flavors.
The booze in this is the defining characteristic of the beer.
It really does. Like the hop takes kind of the back seat to the alcohol flavor, which
Yeah.
sounds so unappetizing, but they pull it off very well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like to its credit, this is like a beer that you'd be like, if you like mixed drinks or like just like straight gin or whatever, like this would be the beer that you would recommend to that person
Yeah.
because it like utilizes that flavor so well.
Yeah.
And also, I guess if you're one of those people, it gets you smashed.
Yeah.
For a pretty penny, I will say though.
Yeah, true.
Maybe not the most cost effective way. However, with it being 18%, there are $10, $9, $8. I think I lost my train of thought, which tells you everything you need to know about this beer.
I'm going to rate it because I feel ready. I feel ready. My body is like positioned over the pool, and I'm about to like dive into it.
Let me think, because I don't want to. I don't want you to say 90 or 50. And
I'm about to say 120.
oh, okay. All right. Not only has my soul ascended from my body, it has ascended from the place it has ascended to.
Yeah.
It's so boozy. I feel like I'm gonna like melt the plastic on my mic from breathing on it. But ignoring that, there's like a huge sweetness to the end of it,
which I think helps to curb this what would be a really long lasting booze heat.
That sip, yeah, holy shit! Like if it wasn't for that sweet flavor, that booze would be obnoxious. That would be, you wouldn't take a second sip of this. Mm-hmm. But that sweet like ramps up to the booze, and then the booze is this plateau of.
I would posit that when you put the glass to your mouth, there's almost like kind of a rich kind of amber, maybe woody, like flavor.
Hell yeah, brother! I totally get you.
And then the sweetness and the alcohol like mix pretty well, almost perfectly, and kind of battle it out in the heavens. But
there is definitely like a weird amber.
So it's not just those two things, but there is some subtlety to this. That
there's a maltiness, which you need to balance out the hop and the fucking
billion ABV.
Yeah, the like double shot of vodka that's in it. Mm-hmm. I have my rating.
Okay.
Jeremy?
I don't.
Okay.
Jesus.
Is this the sort of a situation at Chili's where the waitress comes up and she's like,
I'll go last.
Are you going last?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so for academic purposes, I don't want to hear yours and be like, oh, okay, the one.
Okay. All right. We'll give you time. We ain't no rush.
I need one more sip.
None of us are going anywhere for a minute after this, anyways.
This is an 87.
80.
I was going to give it a 79 because I'm gay.
Oh, that's fine.
As much as I like this and as much as well balanced as it is, it's like, it is like too much to be like a wall of fame. Like granted, very good. And yet almost like infamous, famous, whatever you want to say. But it's like Jesus Christ. Like if 90,
chill out.
If 90 minutes was the one, then I'm like, some days I'm not gonna go pick it up at the bottle shop. This one is like some months I'm gonna not pick this up at the bottle shop.
But we've said before that it does not matter whether you would get this beer once in a month or once in a day.
But I mean that as
it's a good beer regardless.
As the resultant of its like I don't know. It's
regardless. 1 minute goes on the Wall of Fame.
As it should.
To me, as evidenced by my ratings, they get the same rating. Just like, to me, I 100% agree with you, Jeremy, that like 120 is a rare beer for me to drink because you got to be in a certain mindset, in a certain setting to enjoy this beer. But it's like, it has the balls to try something ridiculous and pulls it off. And so for me, that's like, this is a ridiculous beer. Hope you guys aren't too worn out yet.
Yeah, we've got everyone knows the iconic Dogfish Head bottle cap. That's kind of a lime green color, and then it's got the warning sign with the dogfish in the middle.
It's like a exclamation mark, right?
It's the warning sign telling you're about to enter dangerous territories, uncharted waters.
There's a no drive zone.
It's the beers that are above like 15% or something.
Oh, shit! That means we've got I didn't know that higher math was 15+%. Get fucked.
I don't want to spoil it. I could not believe what I was tasting when I had that beer before by the alcohol. So I
want to point out that there's only been one other episode where 2 beers have gone on the Wall of Fame. So potentially this episode has the potential. It's there.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah. On one hand, I'm like, oh man, I'm being a bitch giving it 79.
Oh, no.
But on the other hand, I'm like, there's only 3 things that I'm getting out of this beer. They're great, but there's like, it's too like linear, I guess. I don't know.
I know what you mean. I see it. This is not a beer for everybody. I don't want to be a dick about it and be like, we have a refined palate. But like, I think 75% of people would hate that beer. But we are so big brain, just on average because of Nick. We're just infinite IQ.
Yeah.
That we have this acquired. Anyways,
It's learned.
I wouldn't worry about it. There are very few beers that I have like an emotional attachment to, and 120-minute is one of them.
Okay. Yeah.
And I unabashedly knew before going into this episode I was gonna give it at least an 80.
Okay.
So that's just that's I'm
all the cards are on the table.
Yeah, I think for me this was my first like just take a sip of mine level of enjoyment.
Have a whole glass.
Yeah.
Drink a reasonable amount of it.
So at this point, we would typically switch over to our break time and then go into beer news. But since this is the Dogfish Head minutes episode, we have one last beer to crown it all off. This is Dogfish Head Higher Math. It is. I don't want to say the ABV because it's going to hurt both of you.
So this is also the non-IPA of the episode beyond SuperEight. This is a
golden ale.
Okay.
Brewed with chocolate and sour cherry juice.
Pour it in my glass. Give it to me, goddammit.
This is the one beer out of all of these that I've never had.
Yeah.
I'm
I
looking
can
forward to it.
smell it in the air tonight. Gentlemen.
Cheers.
Oh, it's just chocolate in the nose.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Remember when I said I could not believe this beer when I tasted it?
Whoa.
Oh my god. I like went through like 7 stages of something.
Yeah.
IPA.
No, dark. Oh, chocolate? Oh, but the cherries.
Sour.
Oh, sour.
Oh, it's sour.
Oh, but also boozy. I don't know what's happening. Ah!
Is that red velvet cake? What's happening?
Oh, God. This is so much. There's a lot happening.
The second sip is no consolation to the first.
It's just more of the same. It's like masochism. It's like
It's like when we had the Duke.
Oh.
God rest its soul on the Wall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
The first sip was just an
assault,
an abomination on the senses, right? Like it was just so hoppy, so like weirdly boozy, and then the second sip, it was like it chilled out.
yeah.
This is not that beer.
It's like you know how like in movies or whatever they take like you get 2 frames of an image and it like cycles through like 80 images and like it's just like a bunch of shit that just like flashes by.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
You're like,
just,
oh.
you're like what?
It's the montage of like somebody having knowledge beamed into their brain, and it's just like images of just like the Great Wall of China, and then like Pythagorean theorem, and like
World War I, and, and like the moon landing, and
this is that in your mouth.
Yeah,
that really like imagine what it would feel like to have like 3,000 years of knowledge just like beamed into your brain in like a second.
Is it The Giver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what, and while we're on this analogy, this is what it tastes like seeing color for the first time.
Blue.
if you're a if our radio waves like go past, the like nearest solar system.
Delcion 6 colony.
Yeah. This
Wow,
is
the big brain has passed you.
if you or you meet anyone that like a species that communicates via taste buds, you should give them this one and see what poetry.
die.
This is the Big Lebowski.
This is the Cherry Garcia of beer.
It's not like after a few sips, it's sweet enough. Like the first sip, I thought it was like kind of a milk chocolatey sweet. Now it's kind of it's still sweet, but there's like a dark chocolate flavor to it, and then that like really sour cherry, and then like a booziness to end it off.
There's a lot going on, though.
Who makes a beer like this? I get the impression I'm going to rate this higher than you guys.
I'm enjoying this thoroughly.
I enjoy this a lot. My favorite Ben & Jerry's ice cream is Cherry Garcia, like any other white girl.
Oh, I thought like a caramel fucking...
It's like the most popular flavor.
Okay.
Is Cherry Garcia, and I like that a lot. This is exactly that. It has enough chocolate to get it that kind of milk chocolate sweet flavor, not a dark chocolate metallic flavor, and then it's got just enough sour cherry flavor to round it out that it is like drinking a very boozy melted sans lactose. I think if this had lactose in it, it would be the perfect analogy. But
I'm kind of not getting as much of the sour as you guys are. Like, it's kind of what is there is being blown over by sweet chocolate and cherry.
When I had this at Majestic, it was like a 5 ounce, and it was like a chore getting through the 5 ounces
because it is 17%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this time,
Jeremy's gonna die.
a bottle of this is a hell of a lot. 12 ounces is dicey. I'm going to happily get through my 4 ounces and it will leave me wanting more. I think if I had the 12 ounces, I would be like, that's enough for the next 3 years. Like,
this is a confusing one.
If somebody told you, hey, do you want a golden ale? I would think like 805 or like not
anything
this.
other than this.
If somebody handed me this, if they said you wanted a golden ale and I said yeah, and I had this, I would be like, that's not very golden. And then I would taste it and my tongue would explode. And I would be like, hey, why did you just try to assassinate me? Higher math indeed.
I'm kind of okay with only having this once.
I respect your opinion. I don't agree with it, but I respect it.
For me, like, this is like it's not quite a once in a lifetime like high country brunches, but it is so interesting that like if I could have it every 5 years, it'd be like resetting my palate or something, or it'd be like a reminder that life isn't so bland as it I once thought it was.
This is it.
Oh, okay. Well,
This is once in a lifetime.
this is once in a lifetime.
I think what on the first sip was like a sour has now kind of transmuted into a sweetness. This has Evil Twin all over again. It was like a couple softballs. It was like 4.5,
Yeah.
5, 8, 17, 18, 15.
I have a rating. Jeremy, do you have a rating?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wait, hold on.
I've got mine.
I'll go first. I think like a 77.
Yeah,
75.
85.
It does not make the wall. This is not the best episode of all time.
We've got 2 mystery beers.
Hey.
We've got one.
Oh shit.
Wait, we've got 2 mystery beers?
Yeah,
God
sorry.
damn it, Sean.
Sean, you're killing me. Oh my Jesus!
I want
Lord.
to die. Sean, stop.
Nick, wherever you're going, they better be prepared for.
Drunk Nick?
It's
Yeah.
exactly a 79. It is 1 point shy.
That's exactly how I feel about it. There is like so much
That's funny
right
because
with
you gave it
it.
a 75.
My point being
Yeah.
that there's so much like interesting and unique about it, and but there's too much. There's too much of these random flavors happening at the same time that I can't like concentrate and enjoy any of them
I
enough.
love it.
Yeah. You love it?
I was between an 85 and a 90. And
Wow.
if I was a 90, this would be on the wall. But
Yeah.
I love this beer. There's a weird aftertaste that I don't love. That was enough to knock it down from a 90. That was kind of the deciding factor to me. There's two mystery beers, which I'm sorry, I did not plan on that. But I had an opportunity that I had to take. So there's two.
Oh boy.
So this is a weird episode because
yeah.
Nick is bartending and here I have the mystery
well,
beers,
yeah.
but-
So Sean is going to rotate to bartender here for the mystery beers. Deal with it. That does it for the 7-pack. We will be right back with maybe beer news, maybe not.
We got a couple.
Better make them fast.
Yeah.
And then we've got 2 mystery beers. Stay tuned. This has been Beer Right Back, the Lounge Beer Podcast. Want to see how our ratings stack up? Check us out on Untapped and Beer Advocate. Like us at Beer Right Back, check us out at teespring.com/stores/beer-right-back.
Welcome back to Beer Right Back. Sean is going to hit us with some beer news real fucking fast.
I have
by the way.
responsibilities. The Homebrewers Association just had like the Best Beers America thing.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention real quick that for the 3rd year in a row, Two Hearted Ale from Bell's won first place, Pliny the Elder won second place, and Pale Ale won third place. I've never had Pliny, but I don't think those 3 are the best in America. I think they're like the 3 best known in America.
That reminds me of some association about films or something. Like they kept giving Citizen Kane like #1 spot,
Yeah.
like for like 30 years or something stupid like that. And finally they were like, "All right, we'll give it to like North by Northwest, like, or some other
Speed.
movie. Yeah, like for 1 year, just to like show that they weren't biased
Yeah.
about just some film. But,
And then went back to Citizen.
yeah.
Well, I had like 2 more, but I'm kind of drunk and I don't remember how to get to them. Let me see.
Let's just
There's always next week, Sean.
yeah.
How old can news get before it's old?
1 week.
Okay.
Well, I did want to say the oldest breweries. We were talking in the German beer episode about the oldest beers in the United States, and I want to say that Youngling is the oldest existing brewery in the United States, founded in 1829. So, 190 years old.
90.
Carry the one.
Since first grade, that has been an issue. We're going to move on to the beers.
Okay.
We're doing some mystery beers. You guys close your eyes,
I
please.
closed my eyes.
So these are, well, we'll talk about this later. We got 2 mystery beers.
I'm going blind.
This is going to be great. You guys have no idea. Okay. Hold on. No, don't open your eyes, but hold on.
Man, this bartender is ass. We should kick him the fuck out.
Low tip.
Fuck this guy. Alrighty, you may open your eyes. Gaze at it. Inspect it.
Good clear head. Kind of a color between an IPA and a amber, maybe.
It's beer.
Yes. it appears as though it is.
Didn't it sound like it?
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Cheers. It almost smells like chop suey or something. Like, I don't know.
I get like almost like a broccoli.
Yeah.
Broccoli. Exactly
Right.
broccoli.
There's like a broccoli smell to that.
And flavor, actually.
A little bit, yeah. Actually.
This is a
super
broccoli
weird.
beer. Yeah.
Well, I'm getting my greens.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. I don't really know what this is meant to be because of this like weird extraneous flavor of broccoli.
I'd put it on the the like IPA quadrant of the dartboard, but
I agree. It's definitely hoppy enough to be either a strong pale or an IPA. I doubt it's a double, but I suck, so I have been surprised in the past. It tastes so strongly of broccoli that I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Why? What the fuck is this?
I know. So to me, it's like glaring. I'm like, duh, of course it's this. But I get the broccoli too, and I see how that would be
Bad.
so distracting from anything else.
Yeah. It smells like broccoli. It tastes like broccoli.
yeah.
I really think the flavor is mostly the scent. Like if you plugged your nose, this would taste a lot less like broccoli. We'll see. He's experimenting.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste like much with my nose plugged.
Yeah.
So taste is like
It's
75% smell.
it's still mystery.
I honestly have no idea what
yeah.
the fuck this is. Who would make a broccoli beer?
Or at least what combination of ingredients or like
Results.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what is this? It's either they put broccoli in this beer or it's something that I don't like, would never have a chance in hell of knowing what it is.
All right, Sean, what are we guessing first?
I'll tell you, both of these beers are by the same brewer, so I'm gonna save that for last.
Okay.
This is gonna there'll be a
Dogfish
final reveal of who the brewer is. So let's do ABV first.
Dogfish Head. Who's going first?
Nick, you bartended. Go first.
All right.
I do not have IBU.
I guess 6.
For ABV,
ABV.
I'm gonna go with like 7.5.
9%.
Whoa.
And it hides it well.
Yeah.
9%'s high. I don't get it out of that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to die? Is that like the story of getting a 9% beer after an 18 and a 15?
No, this was not intentional, but
This wasn't an assassination attempt, but
Is ABV the only thing we're guessing on this beer?
style.
Broccoli beer.
It's Jeremy first, actually, so
Yeah.
hold on. Maybe
He'll take broccoli
Yeah.
away from me.
I mean, you can still
And I'll have to guess cauliflower.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you usually say cauliflower?
I'm drunk. Cauliflower.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
That is why I asked.
Yeah.
Well, like, what the hell else do I say other than just IPA? 'Cause unless there is like a classification of cauliflower / broccoli beer out there that I'm unaware of. Yeah, it's
Vegan beer.
bleh. IPA. It's gonna
Pale.
Here's where I have difficulty. I'll just tell you guys. This is a rye IPA. And this is the most rye I have ever had in a beer. To the point I think it tastes like broccoli, which is an unusual
That's
flavor.
fair.
Jeremy,
That's dubious.
this is a gray area. Is that a point for IPA when it's a rye IPA? It's
I wouldn't say so.
half a point, or I don't know what we're doing.
I have no idea.
Non-integer points.
I mean, my guess was, everything under the umbrella of IPAs. I don't think so.
We'll say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see rye, but it's so strong rye that it ends up tasting like kind of ass.
I love rye. This is
Too much.
30% too much rye.
Yeah. I've talked on the podcast about how I don't like rye bread. So,
Here it is.
drum roll about my rating for this beer.
On the
20.
I get like a distinct rye bread flavor on the exhale, but then like I'm thinking of broccoli at the moment,
Yeah.
so it's hard.
And again, me going into it knowing rye,
You're
I'm
like,
well,
this
this
is
is just like a
all
really
rye.
strong rye.
Yeah.
But if I was on your side of the table, I would be like, fucking Christ, it's broccoli. This is like, this is salad beer. Like, I'm glad somebody's bold enough to go this far with rye.
And yet,
You have gone too far. Reel it back in.
like Icarus, you have flown too close to the rye.
Rye is good.
Not this much.
This is too much.
Yeah.
Well, at least we have like I don't know, like a metric for too much rye now.
Yeah. This.
I'm glad to know that too much rye is broccoli.
That's so
what
weird.
Yeah.
Who would've
An
thought that?
unusual flavor.
But you get that. You
100%. Well, I said it first. It was like, Jesus Christ, that's really like a broccoli flavor.
I'll rate it. This is a solid 47.
50.
50.
Yeah. It's too much.
It's a novelty at least,
It
but I
a novelty at heart though.
okay.
It's just way too much.
Yeah.
It's like you just shoved like actual stalks of rye into the beer, and you shoved like 100 pounds of them into the beer.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
Like broccoli stem. Like the
Not the florets, but
Yeah.
yeah.
which that's my here's my divisive statement of the day / of the 10-minute. I prefer the stalk of the broccoli over the flowers. To me, the flowers are just gritty and nasty, but the stalk is like a crispy, crunchy.
Maybe you've been cooking broccoli wrong though.
Well, no, I mean raw broccoli. Even cooked broccoli. Fuck it.
Well,
I
know what you're saying, Sean.
It's a texture. I hate the texture of the flowers.
At the end of the day, I enjoy it, but I definitely see why the stem appealing.
Closer to celery.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
But I don't like celery.
But you don't like that.
but I don't like celery because of the flavor, not because of the texture.
Yeah.
So
It tastes like ass.
yeah,
Yeah.
celery tastes like you're eating grass.
If we could combine the two, then we'd create the super vegetable that
Yeah.
takes over the world. Anyway.
It's so weird that that's like the flavor.
Yeah,
After a certain point, you peak and then you hit broccoli.
you wouldn't think those flavors would be associated with each other.
But this is all broccoli.
Yeah.
Well, what is that? Is that, what did I say? Chop
Oh,
suey?
it's so broccoli.
And then I'm like, oh my god, that's broccoli. Hey, oh wait, no, there's some IPA in there. Oh my god, that's broccoli again. And then it's just
I just burped, and it was like I just ate like 6 pounds of broccoli. I keep going. I keep drinking and going. No, it's like it's rye. It's a really strong rye. And then I burped, and I was like, oh my god, it's like the most broccoli.
if I could get some salt and some melted cheese to go with this beer.
Garlic powder,
Yeah.
some butter.
Now, I am a proponent of like just steamed broccoli, nothing else.
Okay.
I love a good broccoli floret. This is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Too much broccoli. I've now said broccoli enough times that it
Lost
it's like
all meaning.
The dissonance of like it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a word anymore. But like, did you guys ever think on this podcast we would have the word broccoli even mentioned, let alone like so often that it's like, is that a word? Am I saying that right? Broccoli?
So there's Pirates 1. Curse of the Black Pearl. That's like classic, Pirates movie. And it's fantastic. And then there's Dead Man's Chest, which is like a little bit of a toe dip into like the weirdness.
Yeah.
And then there's like, what is it? End of the World?
World's End.
Yeah. We're there.
Okay.
We have cast off into the unexplored territory of beer, right? Like we've done enough. We've done 100+ beers at this point. Yeah.
100 episodes from now, we're gonna be like, does this taste like calamari to you? Do you get a hint of
Rubber.
Does this taste like cherry stem?
And our viewers are gonna hate us.
Yeah.
That was bad.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't say bad. I think.
I mean, I finished the glass.
Yeah.
So
I think beer is a very wide canvas on which to paint on.
sure.
And so,
But why paint broccoli? That's the
true.
important.
But at
thing.
least there is one painting out there that is solely broccoli, and we have
Sure.
seen
And we found it.
tasted it.
Yeah.
So for
Yikes.
archival purposes, too much rye tastes
Equals.
like broccoli.
I need something to get the broccoli taste out of my mouth.
I have good news,
Good.
and I have some bad news. No, I think it's mostly good news. Next beer, eyes closed. Okay, open your eyes.
A light one. Could even, despite the head, be described as like a hef. It's that light,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really have a head at all.
Yeah, it's like, it's yellow, but still like opaque enough to be in the hef range.
Yeah.
I haven't tasted it yet, so.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's kind of bitter. I think it's less bitter than I would expect, and it's just a kiss of a booze. It's mostly hop flavored in terms of bitterness, and then dry hopped like fruit flavor.
I don't know enough about beer to really place this one, so. And I'm on like,
Hell yeah, brother!
I'm on a fucking beer podcast. Do you think?
Oh, dude, but that's the point of this podcast. That we don't know shit.
We're just dudes.
Okay.
We're just hanging out.
We're
and having
We're
a
just
beer.
hanging
three
out,
guys,
dude. Yeah,
drinking a cup,
drinking a pint.
a lot of pints.
Well, like maybe like 3 pints, but
Yeah.
the average ABV of those pints is like 10%.
yeah.
I believe you are going first on ABV.
I like this. This is pretty good.
Maybe 7. I'm gonna stick with 7.
7.
8.
Genius. You're wrong. This is, and I'm really sorry, Nick. This is a 10.5.
Oh.
This,
I guessed right that it was high, then, but
yeah. Your 50-50 was on. Your
Are you like trying to kill us?
again, no, but I can't divulge any more than that without giving shit away. So. Style Nick is up.
Double IPA.
How can I be original?
Or high low.
I mean, double IPA wasn't very original, so
Yeah.
It's a lager.
Brut.
Brute.
What?
Brute IPA?
Brute?
Yeah.
Good guess. Both wrong.
Thought so.
Triple IPA. Close. No cigar.
I mean, at least you're one full integer away, so there's no 2.5 IPAs, unfortunately.
So,
Brewer
brewer is
to Jeremy.
Let's see. I literally pulled up the Wikipedia article for brewers by state. And I'm going to click on
you're gonna cheat. That's what you're
New
gonna do.
Jersey.
Well, if he's using Wikipedia, Nick, you get to go first.
I ain't no bitch.
I play with respect.
New Jersey doesn't have any good ones. I have no fucking clue. It's,
New Belgium. New Belgium is now the new.
Wait.
I don't know.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
you're guessing New Belgium.
what was the one I looked at? Samoys from New Hampshire.
Sure.
Evil Twin,
Wrong.
of course.
This is O.H.S.O in Phoenix.
Oh,
Period. Full stop. That's it.
you know, I that makes hindsight 2020. I was like, oh yeah, where has Sean physically been to buy beer in the last 2 weeks? That's right.
Well, I
Phoenix.
haven't been to Phoenix, but Mary has been to Phoenix, and she was kind enough to pick me up a couple growlers. She texted me a picture. She's like, "What do you want?" And I said, "Any of these."
Triple IPA.
And so she picked these two. So
Well-
this is why I wanted to do these this week, was so they're as fresh as possible. O.H.S.O Brewery and Distillery in Phoenix, Arizona.
So what?
Good job on the-
So what's the rye? What is the name of the rye?
Let me look it up so I get it just right. These beers were batch number 666 IPA rye, 9%. The beer of the beast, strong and spicy with intense aromatics summoned from hops of the dragon, wolf, and green ghost. Droll Sinatas. I don't know what that means, but something about Satan or something. I don't know.
And then the triple.
And then the triple is Stellar Tidal Disruption. IPA triple, 10.5%. A triple IPA with Sabro, Nelson, and Strata. Huge notes of peach, coconut, and white grape guide your journey to an eventual black hole.
I'm in a black hole right now. Sean.
I believe the black hole.
I see the white grape, and that's it. And the black hole.
If you had to rate it, I have a rating.
I'm still getting a slight broccoli out of this one, but maybe that's just trauma from the last beer. This one's a triple. I think I have a number.
All right, go for it.
67.
Yeah. 70.
60. This is good. That's it.
Okay. 67. Becoming a fan of the non-divisible by 5 numbers.
I know, right? Like, you kind of, like, love that when you, like, feel it in your bones.
Yeah.
That this beer is, like, a 72.
Yeah.
You're like, damn. Yeah, I got it.
Exactly this number.
Good luck reading that. I like divisible by 5. It's got to be like...
It's easier for the person who's putting it up online, but I think it's a better overall rating.
But for me, it's like I default to the 5s unless something is like... It's got to be like really specific for me to give it a 62 instead of a 60. Like I have to be like, no, like it's better than good. But 65, like, no, it's not a 65.
What an interesting episode.
All over the map, right?
Highs and lows. I said that with the McGee 6 as well, and I think that's very true for that.
The high was KBS. It was a lot of lows and then a high.
The low for this episode was pretty high by comparison.
Oh, yeah.
SuperEight.
Good.
Broccoli.
Broccoli is a low. Yeah. Broccoli is pretty weird. But if that's the lowest rated.
It's a good episode.
Yeah.
And Dogfish Head kind of nailed it, right? I mean, Dogfish Head knows what's going on.
But we kind of knew that going in, though.
Yeah.
I try to go into these episodes neutral.
Yeah.
Except
I know,
120. Right, yeah. Well, yeah.
I understand.
I feel like I was objective besides 120.
And as objective as possible with 120. Good beers.
Good beers.
Good job, Dogfish Head and O.H.S.O. Good.
Good job,
just the
O.H.S.O.
one,
Yeah.
really. I mean, just the rye is just too much rye, but
I think I can speak for all of us in that O.H.S.O. is like doing a unique experimentation.
they're doing what they want. Yeah. Who else is going to make a rye beer with that much rye? Good or bad, you know? Well, yeah. But,
I do want to explore more of O.H.S.O's.
This has intrigued us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least it's maybe not your favorite beer ever, but it's good that they're like stretching the bounds of what they can do. And triple IPA and a rye that is this much rye is like they're really stretching, right? So I'd like to see what is in the middle. I think O.H.S.O, if they're doing this kind of shit, their normal beers must be pretty interesting.
They're on the right track.
That's right. Weird is good even if it's bad. Weird is always good, I think.
It pushes the bounds.
Yeah.
Next episode, we have our second listener-submitted episode. It's all about Las Vegas breweries. None of us have had any of those beers, so we're not about to spoil them for you right about now. We don't even know what they are. So get out there, see if you can find a beer from the Las Vegas area or even Nevada.
Or not.
Or not. Just have a beer, you know? Have a beer with us next time on Be Right Back, the Lounge Beer Podcast.